Hi, welcome back to 5 Minute MuckBusters, where we explore how writing can help you make it through the thick sludge of life. Yes, you, unless your life is 100% perfect, you can help yourself with a little bit of writing. This is episode 9. If it's the first time you're tuning in, welcome. In previous episodes, we've talked about what wellness writing is, why it's good for you, and we've started to look at a few writing formats, tools, and techniques. You might want to go check them out. Today, we're looking at using the essay as a format for your wellness writing. And yes, I know that sounds awful, but take it from me and from the people who've taken my workshops. It really works. The personal essay is really just a true short story. It's more complete than journal entries because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It often has an underlying message or aha moment that comes to light when you're writing. And it's a logical next step after journaling if you want to expand your exploration and expression and your self-expression about a particular topic. Author Lori Moore said the relationship of a writer to her own place in the world is similar to the relationship between a cook and her cupboard. What the cook makes from the cupboard is not the same thing as what's in the cupboard. When you take the time to expand your journal entries into something bigger and to mix experiences and observations and emotions together, and then let them all simmer for a while, you wind up with a richer, more delicious creation. Whether you're flailing in deep muck or you just want to spice up your writing experience, an essay format can help. I once went on a hike with a boyfriend where we crossed a small glacier without proper equipment. I was scared to death, and I was mad at him for dismissing my fears. We got over the ordeal. We wound up getting married and raising a family, and he's still my husband 30-some years later. But every time a new worry would pop up over the years about a danger, of which there are many when you're raising 3 sons, that bruised shadow from Glacier Day would reappear. And eventually, after a long time, I decided to write about it in essay format. My first draft was 5,000 words of ranting. But over time, the more I wrote and went back and reevaluated what was coming out, I discovered some things. For one thing, I discovered that I was as mad at myself as I was at him because I let him talk me into that glacier crossing, and it took me a long time to come to that realization or admit the truth. I also saw other connections, eventually unearthing an unintended symbolism from that day. Relationships, I discovered, are a lot like glaciers. Here's what I wrote. They surge forward, they retreat when climates change. They flow smoothly, but crack suddenly. For all the power they carry, they are inexplicably fragile. They can easily throw us off balance, and sometimes it only takes one wrong move to end it all. Long ago, photographers used to submerge film into chemical baths and hang them to dry, patiently waiting for an image to emerge in the developing process. Well, I guess there are still some film photographers who do that today. At any rate, essay writing is a lot like that because sometimes it takes longer for the wisdom to emerge than even developing film. It can take weeks, months, or years to make thorough meaning out of what's happened when you're writing, but it's never too late to write about something that happened a long time ago. So let's practice writing an essay. And I'm going to give you a little format to follow. Think back through your past and find a particular incident or event you want to write about. In paragraph 1, just write a sentence or two describing the who, what, when, where. For example, I started my glacier essay this way. We were in Paradise, that place on Mount Rainier aptly named for its famous panoramic vistas and wildflower meadows. The sky was clear, the air was warm, and our new relationship was budding like a springtime meadow. Okay, paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, you tell your story. In mine, I told how we came upon the glacier, how precarious the situation seemed to be, how unprepared we were, and I also explored the moment when things changed in our relationship midway across the glacier. In your final paragraph, it's the moral or the lesson from the story. You might want to let the first few paragraphs simmer for a while before you try to write this one. Remember, it took me years to really glean perspective from my glacier experience, which ended up like this. Crossing glaciers and navigating relationships both demand courage, perseverance, good fortune, and probably a bit of insanity too. Perhaps the only difference now that I think of it is that only one of them requires a good set of boots. Okay, that's all we've got for today. Thanks for watching. Next time we'll talk about using fiction in your wellness writing practice. Until then, be well and keep on writing.